Didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. Moving on from log 6. It was about the river and pudding and theory on Bigfoot. Go check it out. Moving on, type of loves. You want to love everyone close, but sometimes you need limits or boundaries. You literally need all the bad and good in your life. Why you should love or know enough of the knowledge to see the balance of each side of it and your full picture every day, of the spectrum of the dark and the light, to love everything. And if you don't, this is the channel to kind of open your eyes to look around the river and your life. Alright, now types of love. Just as simple as God or the Maker loving the opposite side, the devil, because he needs him. And the definition to define the opposite of what love is, which is hate. Both sides of the polar spectrum. The good and the bad. Or your yin-yang. Now, with people and things in your life, you have to understand the types of love you have for them. Even though, the positive energy or God knows that they need the other side to define the types of, good and bad. They don't generally hang out and support one of the other sides and methods, really, even though they know it's necessary sometimes. Even though they understand it's kind of necessary, they don't really sit at the same table or break bread with each other, or the angels or the demons or the agents who do out their good and evil deeds. Just like Jesus, he knew that Judas shouldn't be, in the same group with him, but he knew that he needed him there to carry out the betrayal and have the arrest happen to lead all the way up to the crucifixion. Now, you do not surround yourself with things like humans, animals, all of it, that do not support, where you're going. And if where you're going is a good place, obviously, you want to surround yourself with the right people that will help you grow to those places. Just like the right nutrition to help you grow. And this includes your beliefs in life and the supports of your future, which, is the cycle of life and the most important thing in the freaking whole world, pretty much to everyone in the present life. And unfortunately, if, the other people, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't in the cycle of life, then it doesn't belong. Because the future is the most important thing in present life. And the support of it, and continuing more to come, you should also just have enough respect and to know all the hardships and the sicknesses and the battles and the wars your bloodline has fought through, just for you to be the person you are today, to live your life. And the chance to be here on this planet Earth, regardless how you see it. And then, they didn't have tons of stores around the area like we do, or you could just, pick up your phone and more than likely just have a freaking something dropped off at your door. I mean, obvious. So, most people didn't even have roads at one point in your bloodline. And I mean, if you can even understand how crazy that is, I would see you'd probably find a newfound respect for your life and who you are, and then the continuing of that bloodline because of not just your easy life, or even if it was struggles through, for whatever you've gone through, it clearly isn't as hard as the ones that people had to pretty much go through back in the day. Well, I wouldn't think, at least. That's why it's so important to learn where you've come from, which is your roots, and have tons of respect for your past bloodlines and your past. So wrapping up just on types of love, you do not surround yourself and break bread with ones who are going to not support your growth or the future or the cycle of life. And then this doesn't mean, though, you don't love them at all. I mean, it clearly just shows a different type of love for them. You have to love everything, and there's going to be different levels to it, but you have to know the boundaries and stuff because it'll affect you and your whole entire home and what you believe in and all the things around it. It means you just don't support the growth, then you don't get behind that type of growth. Because if it doesn't support your garden or its health for its future and its harvest, it'll make your harvest be poor to none. No matter how much you love it and you want to keep it in there, if it's going to harm or possibly take over and end its whole future, you just do not keep it in there, unfortunately. You also cannot have another cycle inside of another working one. It's just like throwing a small working engine inside of an already bigger one. It would ruin both of the engines. Now that's the end of that part. This goes on to the next part called what I dubbed the lobster effect and quality. Meaning you can't eat lobster every day or whatever you really like to eat, because a lot of people love lobster, but whatever you love to eat the most, you can't eat lobster every day because it's too rich. And that's why you want a hot dog every once in a while, or something different in your life. It goes with everything with life and pretty much the whole universe, I think. Why love and relationships take work and creativity to really spice things up, depending on your level of spice, obviously. And give it change enough throughout it and not, have it only be one type of thing, like lobster, obviously, or hot dogs, or whatever you're seeing it as. And that goes through everything with life. You just have to have imagination and really good creativity to spice up your life and make it not so plain and flavorless. You are what you make it. And it moves on to quality of life and how it reflects you every day. What you do with your time defines you and reflects your everyday life. And then obviously of how you do it in that, style of life. Just because you're doing something and you think it's really good, that doesn't mean jack. You have to understand that there's going to be levels of quality, and there's pretty much never even an end level to that quality. You can always work to make yourself better. Why it's so important to really understand what you're showing and what you're doing with your quality and what level of, showing of your reflection of quality, because it is a reflection of you. Now, one of the things that shows this is your time. The most precious thing of anything of all of us have is time. And seeing what you're doing with it. Is it just selfish, all for yourself? Or is it for your family? Or is it for others? Now, just because you're doing it for your family doesn't mean it can't still be selfish. It could be a whole family selfishness and, you don't give back to anybody or, because it doesn't just take one person to be selfish, So it's very important to always give back, especially if the world has given you a lot. It's very good to turn around knowledge or wealth or anything if you definitely have an abundance of it and you're not just a poop person and selfish. Now, it's just like making jewelry or art paintings, or even more serious if you're making something if someone's consuming something like food or a plant or anything, you just want to make sure that the quality that you can produce can be reasonable, enough with the time is given, can be the best flavor, presentation, and the product that you have that reflects you and your quality of your soul and your whole person of who you are. if you are running back, if people are running back for more, and that is going to give you a pretty, giving you pretty good solid compliments and gestures that it's good, then it's a pretty solid tell that you're having a reflection of a good quality product or in a person that you are. But if you're giving, products out that taste bad and you're getting people sick and people are getting mad and they're having health problems because of them, you can tell and you can probably see that you're not reflecting such a good quality of soul or person of character. And this is the moment you decide if you are living up to expectations or if you can get up and learn and rise to a better quality. Now, obviously, you can dig and go deeper with everything, with different types of things in your life, but I just wanted to hit a few things and the surfaces for all of you. Enough to show you where you can go and dive deeper for yourselves, but this is obviously more towards like the whole entire channel of opening your eyes and looking around for yourselves to go dig in your own lives, because everybody is going to be different. It's just how the world and everybody is made, so the balance can happen for everyone. Now, this is the end of log 7 and moves on to log 8, which talks about natural beauty, the moon, and fishing. Now, thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something.